So as Kevin said, my name is Ben Nunery. I'm one of the co-founders at Powerhouse Factories. And Powerhouse started as a rock poster shop, as Kevin pointed out. And today it's still a rock poster shop, but it's also evolved into a full-service brand building agency. And also, as Kevin pointed out, we have office upstairs, and we also have our rock poster shop in Newport, where we produce and design all of our rock posters. So a lot of people ask me, like, how'd you guys get started? And I was telling them it was basically two guys in a garage, and you might say, really, that's kind of cliche, right? But yeah, it really is true, and you're gonna have to bear with me. This is a picture of that garage, and you can't really see it on the sail here, but it's there, I promise. There was a garage, there were two guys in it, and that's where we started. So, myself and a friend of mine met in college, and we started screen printing. We were getting degrees in fine arts, and we just had a lot of similar interests, so we started screen printing, and we set up a shop in Pat's garage, and we started producing work. So these are some of our early posters. This is some of the very first pieces that we were creating, and we really didn't have any sort of intentions or motives. We just wanted to create. We just wanted to make stuff. And so we put bold imagery with sort of provocative words and kind of to see what people would do. So we're making all this stuff, so we said, now what? What are we going to do with it? So basically our decision was to get in people's faces and see what happens. Just try it out, see where it goes. So these are pictures, again, I'm sorry you can't see it very well, but what we started doing was posting our posters all over campus in high traffic areas. And we would just sometimes go sit there and sort of see what people's reactions were. And what started happening was people would do things like this. So they would tear down our posters, scan them in, reproduce them with different words underneath and X's across the face, and then post them back over top of our posters. And so this light bulb went off. We were like, wow, we've created a conversation with people unintentionally. We just thought, like, let's just put it out there and see what happens, and we started a conversation. And so the next evolution was taking it to the streets. So we said, well, let's leave the campus and let's go to different cities and just poster bomb on busy street corners. So we went to Memphis and Nashville and, well, let me back up. We went to Western Kentucky University. So we were in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So we would go to cities that were close, Nashville, Memphis, Louisville, Chicago, Cincinnati, and did the same thing, posted stuff all over the place. Couple pictures of street corners here. Then we started showing in galleries, mostly just university galleries, but again, we just wanted to evolve it and start showing it in different sort of environments. So what did we learn? Whoop, that went back. We learned that making something engaging will spark conversation. And it was just that basic. We knew that if we just put stuff out there that was engaging, people would talk about it. So now what? What do we do with that? Well, let's try to get paid. Let's figure out if we can get people to pay us to do this. So this poster right here is a poster advertising some lofts here in Cincinnati. And from poster bombing in Cincinnati some weekend, a guy saw it, he contacted us, and he wanted to pay us to make a poster to advertise his lofts. So we were like, wow, okay, this works. Someone wants to give us money for what we're doing, what we like to do anyways. So that evolved into making rock posters. So we're big music fans, we're design and printmaking fans and getting pretty good at it. So we're like, let's start making posters for bands. So this is our very first rock poster. This is for a club called Radio Down that was in Covington, Kentucky about 10 years ago. And so that was the first gig poster we ever did. And so we really got turned on by that. We loved it. We were like, let's do more of it. So we just produced. We went into sheer production mode. Let's make as many rock posters as we could possibly make. There's a bunch of them there. Again, hard to see. So a little bit about our process. So we're talking about making things and how that relates to digital. So when we design posters, it always eventually makes it into the computer, but we always build our posters using handmade processes. So we're finding found imagery and found typography. Some of this is hard to see. We're making our own custom illustration, and we're composing those things together to make a poster. So this is an example of how some very basic elements come together to make a rock poster. Another example here, some typography and some scanning of some texture, you got a rock poster. So now what? Again, now we've sort of over the years developed into a brand building agency. So we've got all these people from different backgrounds, very digital backgrounds or marketing backgrounds. What do we do with that? So we've got this sort of mentality of making rock posters and that process. How do we teach people that? So let's teach everyone how to make things and see what happens. Again, let's just see what happens if we just teach people what we already know how to do. So we started Screen Printing 101 internally at Powerhouse. So we take all our people and we take them over to the shop in Newport and we teach them how to screen print. And it's fun and it's loose and we just kind of try stuff and there's nothing digital. We let them piece together old films of old posters to create their artwork and we take them through the process and let them print their own poster. So they get a little taste of what it's like to make something with their hands. Some more pictures. Sorry, hard to see, but these are some of our people internally printing and mixing ink and actually pulling the ink on the press and making posters. So what happens from that? Same as before, we spark conversation. As simple as that. And those conversations turn into opportunities. So these are pictures of us making the cover for the latest print magazine color issue. Some of you might be familiar with it. It's basically a design publication, but they were trying to create a color blend on their color issue, on the cover of their color issue, and they couldn't figure out how to make it look right. So they came to us, and we actually screen printed the artwork. And that was the only way that we could achieve the look that they were trying to get. So here's a picture of the cover over here, and that's actually a photograph of the print we made for the cover. So it's a good example of how sort of you could only achieve something by getting your hands dirty and making it. Another opportunity came from Jordan brand. We have a guy internally that's passionate about sneakers. He's a sneakerhead. And so there was a shoe release coming out. We wanted to make some posters that would go along with that shoe release. We had no communication with Jordan. We just wanted to do it because it was cool. So we made a series of posters. We made a video out of it. And we posted that video. And that afternoon, Jordan was calling us, wanted to talk about other opportunities to work for their brand. So again, just an opportunity that came from making stuff and putting it out there and seeing what happens. So this is a video. I'm going to show a video. You might not be able to see it, but just watch it. It's basically a video of us making that poster for Jordan, and it kind of walks you through the process. So here we go. Let's see how this goes. that in 2 minutes, that's how you make a rock poster, if anyone was able to see that. So what I'm going to leave you with is a quote from Chuck Close. He's a famous American painter and printmaker. Inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up and get to work. So the idea is don't wait for inspiration. Just go out and start making stuff, and cool things will happen. So that's it. Thanks.